Hi, I'm Harrington Benton. This is Total Team Control. Today we're going to talk about the linebackers and the linebacker position. We want our linebackers to move sideline to sideline. Let's take a look at this linebacker. Let's see if we can get his movement to go sideline to sideline, and we'll show you just how to get that player to move sideline to sideline. Notice this player is on a TTC base. Let's see if we can get the player to go sideline to sideline for us. Again, let's take a look at his movement. Kind of sweeping forward there a little bit. Let's give him one more try. We want this player to go sideline to sideline here. As you can see, the player is sweeping slightly forward. Let's see if we can adjust him and get the player to go on a more even plane as he moves laterally. We're just going to slightly press the player down and sweep him in the direction we want him to go. Let's take a look. And there we're getting a little bit better movement, but we think we can get the player to react to what we want him to do a little bit better. And as you can see, we may have overcompensated a little bit with the player's movement. We'll sweep him slightly, and let's give him one more try. And here you have the player moving sideline to sideline now in a lateral way. This is done on a standard TTC base, not on a base that has the player running sideways, because in the Championship Electric Football League, just as we have this player moving sideline to sideline, we may also want that player to move in the opposite direction, sideline to sideline, or move forward or backward. We'll give him one more try. As the player sweeps a little bit forward, but you get the general idea that the player moves from sideline to sideline in a lateral way. Let's take a look at what makes this player move from sideline to sideline. Here's the setting of this player's TTC base and his dial. As you can see, his dial is set at about a 90-degree angle, causing the player, when being guided by his dial prongs, these two prongs, to move laterally. Let's take a closer look at what's actually making this player move laterally. This is the key prong. As you can see, the player's left rear prong has not only been swept forward, this player's left rear prong has not only been swept forward, we're going to take that left rear prong and we're really going to press it. And you can see that that prong has really been pressed down. And what you're doing essentially is you're negating that prong. You're taking that prong and making it, for the most part, ineffective in relation to the other three prongs. In addition to turning the player's TTC dial into the direction that you would want that player to move in a lateral way. The opposite would be true if we wanted the player to move to his left. We would straighten this prong, and here we would go to the prong here, and we would give it the same treatment as we're giving this prong. Press that prong as far as you can get it down into the base without damaging it. And his TTC dial is turned at a 90-degree angle. Let's take a look at the player after freshly adjusting his prongs and see if he gives us the lateral movement that we want. And there, when the prongs have been freshly adjusted, you can see the overcompensation. What we're going to do is we're not going to adjust the rear prong. We're going to take his TTC dial and we're going to slightly turn it toward the forward position. Still at 90 degrees. I guess you would call that maybe about 85 degrees. Let's see if the player gives us the movement that we're looking for now. And again, still a little too much adjustment. We'll take it to about 80 degrees and let's see if we get the proper movement. And there you can see the player giving us the lateral movement that we're looking for. Let's not do an adjustment. We'll put the player back and let's see if we can get that lateral movement. And here the player doesn't give us the movement that we're looking for. And what you're seeing here now is the prong that was pushed down and in that adjustment is starting to come into play. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take the player's dial and take it from 80 degrees back to 90 degrees. Set the player down and let's see if he gives us the movement we're looking for. Close. But now we're going to take that dial and take it back to about 85%. Remember, all of these prongs have memory, and as the prongs adjust themselves back and spring back into place, you have to understand the adjustment that it takes with the other parts of the dial and of the base to compensate. Let's see if the player gives us the movement we're looking for. We want him to move laterally. He gives us some lateral movement. But we want more. Let's try the player once again. And here the player gives us very good lateral movement. We believe right there we've got the player set. Let's take a look and see where things stand when the player gives us the movement that we're looking for. Right at about 90 degrees. And there's the angle of that left rear prong here. As the prong starts to flex back and come into play. Remember, you don't have to have the player giving you lateral movement all day long. You only want the movement on the play that you want him to do it on for the time that you need for that play to be ran. Let's see if he gives us the lateral movement we're looking for. And again, we're getting pretty good movement from the player. He's sweeping sideline to sideline. He's attacking the offense and giving us pretty much what we're looking for from the player. Once again, lateral movement from the player. This is total team control. Player giving us nice lateral movement. That's what we're looking for. I'm Harrington Ben. This is Total Team Control. See you next time.